So if you were spraying a chemical, a nasty pesticide, or putting something in for the nematodes in the soil, or methyl bromide, or methylparathion, or all these nasty chemicals that were being used, nobody was saying much about it until, the environmental working group and a few of the environmental groups that were around then were saying, hey, there's a bunch of stuff in our food that we should be asking questions about. And then, of course, the FDA, they did have minimal tolerances for all these chemicals, but they were basically set by the chemical company.
Right.
They weren't set by them.
Quite a bit of their budget
And,
comes from the
right. And so it was kind of like a, inside fraternity of good old boys that were basically saying, here's how we're going to do it.
Mm.
And here's what you're going to use. And don't question any of it. And of course, I questioned everything because of the success that I got from Watt McGugan. And I said to myself, wow, I said, this is really interesting. Then I also met another gentleman at the time in early 70s whose name was Everett Dietrich. And Everett Dietrich was an entomologist that was good bugs and bad bugs. And we had hired him to check our bugs and stuff. And he had been on there in the beginning. And then when, of course, we went through this stuff, all of our bad insects just basically disappeared. And he said, what are you doing, Steve? He says, you don't even need me anymore. It's basically put him out of a job. But of course, I didn't kick him off because I wanted to learn about why these insects disappeared. And it's like I was saying, this induced systemic resistance, and how if the insect doesn't have nitrates high enough in the plant, for example, Pacific spider mites, that's what they live off of. They want to have the nitrates to be high. That's how they go ahead and suck the juices out of the plant so that they can, reproduce and populate and then suck all the juices out of the plant. Well, once I got the limestone in there and the calcium was in there, that didn't work with the physiology of that particular insect, and they basically disappeared overnight. I didn't add one single beneficial insect. They couldn't live sucking off the juice of the plant because the juices in the plant weren't conducive to making them healthy.